Angry Bears Fan Podcast, episode 57 now. Like the video, follow, subscribe, please. We get a lot of comments in the reels. Um, the Caleb Williams debate and all that stuff's going on, so really enjoying the engagement. So please like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment. Anything's appreciated. Congrats before we get into what we've been talking about for feels like ages. Congrats, Hester, Stephen McMichael, Julius Peppers, more Bears entering the Hall of Fame. This should be interesting.
That
Makes
means we're
me.
probably getting the Hall of Fame game.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and probably Hard Knocks. Aren't we in the? We're in the running for Hard Knocks. I think.
Yeah, we're one of three teams. I
I
think
think
that.
no matter what, Caleb or Justin, I think they're going to want us on Hard Knocks. Um, I think it'll be good TV.
Okay.
But
Hold on a sec, Sean.
yeah, just congrats to all the guys who made it into the Hall of Fame. Looks like the Bears
It's
got more
about
than
time for Steve McMichael
yeah.
because that's a long time coming. Um, I mean, the Hall of Fame is such. It's one of those things where a lot of deserving players, there's still deserving players that aren't Chicago Bears that belong in the Hall of Fame. There's a couple still from that '85 Bears team that do deserve to be in the Hall of Fame that aren't in there yet. Um, there's Lance Briggs, who I feel is a Hall of Famer, should be in the Hall of Fame. He's not in there yet.
I don't
Uh,
know. I think
there's a
Lance.
there's a
I
few
think
of them.
Lance is borderline. I think they should put him up and do the Bears have him up at the stadium. I think they should definitely be up somewhere in the stadium, Ring of Honor or whatever. I
Oh,
think Lance Briggs
Lance
is
Briggs.
borderline. I mean, I
I
think he was great. I mean, I love Lance Briggs. I think he's amazing. I just think I don't know. I think the Hall of Fame's a little diluted, even though there's people I think people would probably say I think are crazy. Should I think Eli definitely is. Um, and I really think I guess looking at his stats is not, but I just think Julian Edelman is too. But I don't know. I don't think because those guys won though. I think the Hall of Fame you either have to be like the fucking best player at your position for like a decade or a winner, not just like a guy who had a great career. It's like a lot of people had great Lance Briggs like careers, like Terrell Suggs. You think he's a Hall of Famer? I think he had a better career than Lance Briggs. And I think he's got a Super Bowl, and I don't even think he's a Hall of Famer.
I think Terrell Suggs is a Hall of Famer at
I
some
don't know. I
point.
think he's
Absolutely.
nice.
Same thing with
We'll
Zach
see.
Thomas. I don't think Zach Thomas has gotten in yet, and he's
That's
definitely a Hall of
yeah,
Famer.
but that's what I mean. He falls in the line like elite for 7 years. You know what I mean? Always in the conversation for best middle linebacker in the league for a long time. A lot of
Well, then
people
what
are
about Luke Kuechly?
no. I don't
Luke
think so.
Kuechly was
I think
dominant.
he is. I don't think he played. Well, how long did he play? 6 years.
7 years. Same thing with like Patrick Willis.
Oh, I guess Patrick Willis just got in. I don't know. I have to see his numbers. How many years didn't Kuechly miss a year in there somewhere though?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to look. I like Kuechly a lot, and I respect. I like what I like about Kuechly is he didn't do what Andrew Luck did and just quit randomly. He finished the season. Retired. I heard he was like really rich. He did a lot of commercials. He's probably a modest guy too, where he's and like a lot of these guys, he's probably smart. He can go coach at any, you know what I mean, any school any college he wants, like a linebacker coach to make honest money. It's like he ain't never gonna be broke, so no reason to go beat your head into the ground.
So yeah, I mean there wasn't a whole lot of news this week. There was a couple of reports out there saying that the Bears would need a historical return to trade the number one pick. I don't think it matters. Ryan Poles is holding on to that pick. It seems like unless Washington gives up like their next two drafts just to move up one spot, and I don't see that happening. Merrill
I
Hodge,
don't think it'll be that much,
Merrill
but yes,
Hodge being Merrill Hodge, he saying Caleb's not special. Caleb this, Caleb that. I mean,
no, it's
a
funny.
lot of a lot of
A
these,
lot of people got asked though this week. A
yeah.
lot of the Bears players, some Seahawks, some ex Ohio State guys, a lot of Justin's, you know what I mean, ex teammates, friends. They're all asking him because it's the hot topic of the thing. Merrill Hodge, obviously. Um, I don't always agree with Merrill Hodge, but that's kind of like I don't want to say that I don't think Caleb is special because he won the Heisman, and it's like like the kid can play. I just think he's like there's a lot of hot guys who win the Heisman who aren't like fucking. They just put up numbers in college, and maybe he won't be him. But Merrill Hodge was. I guess Caleb liked that tweet or what. I don't know, something about him saying it. I don't know. Like um, but DJ Moore got asked a couple more times. He was adamant he's Team Justin, but he did finally make a statement basically saying no matter what happens, I'm a football player and I got to go play football. So I'm sure a lot of people, fans, teammates, even if you got to at least think 10, 20, 30% chance Caleb might be the quarterback just because it's like you said, Ryan Poles is playing it so close to the vest. Um, and things leaking out. I don't, it's saying he had to take a historic offer. Like, yeah, I mean, we already knew that. I mean,
Exactly.
the haul we got for um Bryce Young, I don't know, we'll say historic, but it was really fucking good.
Yeah,
And
because what are the chances
it
of landing that number one overall pick? I mean, that right
again,
there
like
is
that's what
the
I'm saying. Looking back, that's probably one of like the top five best trades ever, top 10 for sure. Like pick trades pre-draft, and we knew it was going to be like double that. Like, you know what I mean? Or like at least that to move up one spot. Like you said,
yep.
like, you know what I mean? Two, three first, some, you know what I mean? Some starter Pro Bowl caliber player just to move up one spot. And if you want to come from nine, it's going to take double what we got last time. So,
Well, see, and that's the thing too, is that realistically, like we talk a lot about Caleb Williams, right? But the Ryan Poles' you know, scouting on Caleb Williams and his homework and everything else like that is still not done on any of these prospects. If I still think they take a quarterback, doesn't matter who it is. Um, but if they trade with Washington, say to Ryan Poles that he has Caleb Williams and Drake May, 1A, 1B, or Caleb Williams and, Jaden Daniels, 1A, 1B, whatever the case may be. And his, homework and checking everything, character, talent, film, all that shit, his evaluation of these quarterbacks. I could see him trading back to two because he knows that Washington wants Caleb and then still drafting a quarterback. I really don't think Justin Fields is the starter for the Bears next year. I just don't. Um,
I don't agree. I don't think it'll be anybody but Caleb. I think if they're going
I
quarterback, it's got to be Caleb.
I disagree with that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's one of those things where if in his evaluation, if he feels that Drake May is a better quarterback or a better prospect or whatever, if he feels like any of those guys are, knowing how badly Washington wants Caleb, he might do that just to trade back down one spot. It's possible.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
everything's
but
possible. I just don't think they should
more
have.
more realistically, I think that the pick at 9, even if they take Caleb Williams, I think he trades back. I think he trades down from 9.
I
It seems
agree,
like
unless like alt neighbors is there, like somebody who fell out of the top five is there. I agree with you. I think he'll trade back. If he does take Caleb, I think he'll 100% trade back. We need another second, and second round's a good time to go out and get a center, and that's where. So I think we'll probably fall back from nine. I mean, top. I think we're gonna fall back from one. I don't think it's gonna be May or Jaden Daniels. I can't imagine that. I mean, obviously it's a possibility. That's some super mad and shit right there. But um, if he wants Drake May, I would like. You might as well. I'm assuming he stays there and takes her. Like if that's the case, like I think other people like he might be afraid that somebody else might take Drake May. Like he might be afraid that Washington might take Drake. You know what I mean? Be pump
but what I'm
faking.
saying, if they're
If
if
he's
they're
so
neck and
good,
neck, if they're neck and neck, you know what I'm saying, in his evaluation, if he's just like, well, we're good with any of these guys, with either Drake May or Caleb Williams. I don't. If Washington wants that pick badly enough, I don't. If I'm Ryan
I don't know.
Foles,
I just
if
if
I'm
I
in
feel
his
like
state,
if
I'm
he
just like,
feels
all
that
right, dude,
way,
whatever.
then he's got to be okay with going Justin Fields. Then so it's like
No, that's not true.
I don't know. You think like Drake? I don't know. Not Drake, man, or
And
Jaden
here's
Daniels. I
the
don't
thing,
know.
like
If you think
I
you're clear to roll with any of those guys going into next year, knowing we know about rookie quarterbacks over
It has nothing to do with how he feels that they're going to perform on the field next season. It's a projection of their professional careers. And if he feels like Caleb Williams and Drake May project better than Justin Fields in the next couple of years, then he will take them. And I'm inclined to agree that, it all comes down to coaching and natural talent. We know that. Justin Fields has all the talent in the world, coaching, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. But we've had this discussion before. There's a difference between a player going into year 4 and a college quarterback who's never had his hand, never had an NFL coach had his hands on him yet. There's a difference between his, Justin Fields struggles and everything he's carried over since his rookie season and still having the same issues, and a rookie quarterback coming in who may have the same issues as he does now. But again, it's all about projection. And I don't know. We've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't want to be in his shoes. I wouldn't want to be. That's a very tough decision because you're either, I mean, you're going to be a villain either way. To
Definitely.
some people, at least in Chicago, you're going to piss off the Justin Fields fans, or you're going to piss off the Bears fans. They're like, man, I just want to fuck quarterback. Blah 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 blah. It's difficult, but I think that if you can just build a team in general around a quarterback, then it lessens the blow a little bit on having that superstar quarterback. I know a lot of people in Chicago are starving for a stud at that position. I know we've been talking about it. We feel Justin could be, maybe. I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I just feel like the superstars have to be like cultivated. Like it's not just like this fucking you draft and it's like you draft this guy and he's the man. It's like we're yes, CJ Stroud is he had a great amazing year, but I saw a list. I wish I would have saved it. They posted the last 7 quarterbacks who won offensive rookie of the year and they all flamed out. I mean, maybe it was an injury or something, but every single one of them, none of them are Hall of Famers, none of them are winners. Um, I think it was like the last 10 or 15 years. It was like Vince Young, RG3. And yes, they got hurt, you know what I mean? Things happen, but like, you know what I mean? Some of them just got aligned with a bad coach, had a bad second year, then other stuff started happening. And like, so you don't even know what CJ Stroud. And again, I'm not hating on him. I thought he was good. We thought he was the best moving in. Um, but I don't know. It's just such a crapshoot. And Justin, I don't know. Like I said, I just think he's better than those guys. And I guess like you said, it does come down to coaching. But in my head, if you're thinking, oh, my coach can turn this rookie who's never played a snap in the NFL into a winner, then I would be confident that my coach could turn Justin into the same thing. And
Because there's a difference.
I mean,
You're not.
there's a difference in everything, but I mean, that's the point of being a teacher. You can't just teach one kid. You got to be able to teach all the kids.
No, no, no,
Yes.
no, no. Some people get it and some people don't. And Justin may be a good worker, but that doesn't mean necessarily that, like, okay, we're talking about how Luke Getzey was the worst offensive coordinator, just horrible, blah
I
blah
wouldn't
blah
say
blah
coordinator. I just thought he was a bad play caller.
blah. Bad play caller, whatever. So does that mean he's a bad teacher?
No, I think he's a bad play caller. He might be a
Okay,
good teacher.
so if he was a good teacher and he got the job with Vegas as their offensive coordinator, he's a good teacher. How come Justin Fields still didn't learn anything?
I mean, he did
It's
learn
got nothing to
things.
do with play calling.
What I'm
It's
saying, like, he
teaching,
did learn things. Like,
but he still struggles with the same stuff that he had coming into the league 4 years later, 3 years later.
okay, but
Sorry,
what I'm saying is, like, a lot of people, like, Tua struggles with the same shit. He just had, like, he also has Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, but Tua struggles with the same thing he's been struggling with since he came in there. You disrupt his timing, all that. You know what I mean?
well,
Like,
that's any quarterback if you disrupt
exactly.
their
So,
timing.
what I'm just
But
saying, like,
Tua's got
everybody
a
had,
quick release. You're not going to be able to change Justin's release. It's the longest release I have ever seen on a quarterback. I mean, it's like a windup, almost like he's pitching back there. And Tua's got a quick release. Tua's worked on his release a lot more in terms, and he's also gotten better at staying healthy, which was a huge concern going forward for him. But it's the zone defense. Justin Fields, the one thing he does well against a defense is if it's man. If it's man coverage, he does a good job. He struggles mightily against zone defense. And it's just like I said, that wind up, man, that wind up's gonna kill him. It's
I
gonna
mean,
kill
again,
him.
I'm not saying that Justin. There's nothing wrong in his game. Nothing that I think he can improve on. What I'm saying is like they all got bad things, and I don't think Getsy might have been a good teacher. I think he was a bad play caller. Like we watch the games. Yeah, sure. Every once in a while, Justin misses a pass or holds on to the ball too long, but a lot of times you watch the route combos and they suck. Like it's guys running right into each other, things that aren't going to work. You know what I mean? Fucking long routes when we're playing the Browns and fucking they're getting after us. Like again, and Getsy, he got another job, but he was the consolation prize because they got fucked over in the last minute. It wasn't like he was this fucking crown jewel that everybody was clamoring for. We're playing the end of the music slowing down right now, and everybody's trying to find a chair, and you know what I mean? He got pulled in and picked because the Raiders'
That's
job
not
isn't.
usually how that works, though, Sean. You know that, especially a guy that just got fired does
They all
not.
just got fired.
No, they didn't.
Hackett just got fired and he got hired on the Jet. Like he just got fired.
Hackett was a head coach for the Broncos who went to the Jets as their offensive coordinator,
Yeah, but he got
be,
fired after like after a year because he was so bad.
of being a head coach.
I mean, it was a pretty bad OC
But he
too.
got he got the job as an offensive coordinator because the Jets knew they were getting Aaron Rodgers. That's a completely different
I mean,
story.
yeah. Well, there's not going to always be one-on-one comparison. I'm saying like these guys all get fired and then get rehired like right away. Like that's not abnormal. Like
That's not true. Matt Nagy's an offensive coordinator. It's not like he got another head coaching position
well,
right
that was
away
like he went from QB coach to fucking
to
head
head
coach, and
coach,
that.
which a
What I'm
which a
saying is
lot of
not
them
like
do.
yeah,
A
but what I'm
lot
saying
of
is
them
like
do.
so he's not like he got this huge down. He got hired right away on a good team, a better fucking job than he had as the head coach of than the Bears. Like,
I know, but what I'm saying is
and
that
now he's a champ. He's
it's
about
not
to
as
be a
quick
two-time
it's not as quick
champion.
as a turnaround as you're making it out to be.
I mean, he got hired before like he fucking like before he was done packing in Chicago. Like, like it was pretty quick. Like these guys get hired right away. And I'm not. And
But
again,
it's not all the time
I
like
don't
you're
think
making
Getsy.
it out to be.
Again, I don't think Getsy was terrible anyway. I'm just saying like he was their second option after fucking the guy they really wanted backed out at the last second. So it wasn't like he was the guy they really wanted in the first place anyway.
How does B Enemy not have a job
I don't
anywhere?
know. People must not like him. He must be a bad interview. I'm not one to throw the race card around too much, so I don't think it's that. But that's what some you know what I mean. They'll make it seem like, but for whatever reason, people. I know he's a hard ass. Um, but I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, Nagy's been
But
riding
Sam
fucking.
Howell, he made Sam Howell look serviceable. I mean, Sam Howell, what was he like fourth in the league in throwing yard and passing yards? Like,
They lost a lot of games. They had a lot of garbage time games. I
oh,
don't
don't
know.
get me wrong, yeah, but still, like that's still a fourth or fifth round rookie or whatever Sam Howell was, third round maybe. You know what I'm saying? And he made him look pretty decent at times. I mean, granted, it wasn't pretty all the time, but at least it looked good when it was good. Um, Another thing that I saw here too was talk about free agency and stuff leading up to the draft. A couple of things on Daniil Hunter. I guess he was a target for the Bears. During the trade deadline, free agency, of course. But my concern with that is what's his price going to be? Because if you can't come to terms with a long-term agreement with Jalen Johnson, you're looking at a franchise tag for him, and that's going to be somewhere around the 20 $22 million range or whatever for a franchise tag. So how much money is going to be left over? I know we're cutting ties with Eddie Jackson, most likely cutting ties
Unless
with
he wants
Cody
to
Whitehair.
restructure.
But like, what are we doing in terms of money where we already spent 25 million on Montez Sweat, and we're going to be spending 20 million on Jalen Johnson. How much money are we really willing to invest in that defensive
Well, it
line?
goes up every year. I don't know. Well, they're good to pay one more person. They got two young DTs, so you don't have to pay one of those for a while. Your linebackers are already paid, and you got Sanborn waiting in the wings. You don't have to pay another corner for a while. Um, you're gonna have to pay Tevin Jenkins here soon, but you might get a hometown discount just because he's been hurt so much. Um, it's gonna be hard for him to ask for like his skill level amount of money, knowing that he's never like has he played like more than like 4 games in a row. Like I don't think he has. Like not I don't know if that's not a joke. I don't think he has, but I would have to look. But maybe five. Um, depending on what they do with quarterback, you never know. If it's Justin, you're gonna have to pay him. Like if it all goes to plan, like we wanted to, you're gonna have to pay him at least $45 million. I mean, that's if he's like the 11th best quarterback, 10th best. If he's top 10, you're gonna have to give him 40. Um, yeah, and then I I don't think laying all that out, I don't think they'll be able to get a wide receiver in free agency. They'll be maybe if they go maybe Ridley or somebody like I don't know somebody who might not get top of the market value.
How much should
Um,
Ridley get paid this year? Because he was suspended for the year, right? When he played for Atlanta.
I think
So
he was playing like on his fifth year option or something like that.
because I mean, what's going to be his market value? Somewhere 15, 18, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
I'm guessing he's going to be wanting something like that, 15, 18.
He didn't have a bad season. It's just,
No.
and I really think I don't know. Looking at Ryan Poles' history so far in the draft, he drafts positional cornerstones. You know, he really likes the skill position players, the corners, um, the offensive linemen, stuff like that. It seems like he has kind of like his niche that he likes to do in the draft. And these last couple of drafts, we've kind of seen it, especially in the later rounds. He really likes to take flyers on defensive backs and defensive tackles in the later rounds so far. I mean, he does have a defensive head coach, so of course it's probably, Matt Eberflus probably has a little bit of a say in who he drafts, especially in those later rounds. But we talk about this number 9 overall pick, right? Let's just assume, let's base this off the assumption that the Bears take Caleb Williams, number 1. They trade Justin. It looks like Justin's yielding anywhere from a second to a high first round pick, but the general consensus is that Justin Fields is going to yield a second round pick for the Bears. So let's just base this off of the assumption that Justin's traded, Caleb Williams is taken number 1. You're you're on the clock at number 9, okay? And you have Roma Dunze, Joe Alt, or Fashanu, whoever the tackle is, Brock Bowers, still on the board. Out of those 3 players, who are you taking, or are you trading back for more? Because somebody's going to
Uh,
want to come up from one of those guys.
I'm probably taking Joe Alt. I'm not a fan of Notre Dame. I really not. I hate those guys, but Joe Alt looks like he. I just feel like he's going to be like a 15-year like all what I mean Pro Bowl every year. What I mean Pro Bowl or All Pro half his career type left tackle. I like Roma Dunze. Bowers, I don't know. I mean, he's cool and all, but um, I really like Joe Alt. I think Joe Alt is like like when we look back in this draft, it's like he should, what I mean, he should have been a top 3 pick. Like that's how good he's gonna have been. And so I think I would go with Joe Alt. I think if but if he takes Caleb first, I think we will probably fall back unless like he's got a super high grade on Joe Alt or somebody like that. I think 9, he'll fall back to like 15 or something, and we hope Roma Dunze falls there or get what I mean, take whoever he ends up with, um, because at the end of the day, no Caleb or Justin, we need help, and that can't get lost in all this as well. It's not like I know a lot of the Bears fans are. It's the argument is Caleb or Justin, and it's like regardless who we get back there, they're gonna need help. We don't got it on offense. We got a halfway decent O line. We need a center. Um, I like Braxton Jones, but I just don't think he's a pure left tackle. I think he's more of a right tackle. I think he might be able to be a good guard. I think he's a good offensive lineman. I just think he struggles against the really good guys, which most of the guys do. So, what I mean? Not super knock against them, but I think we can upgrade there because he gets bull rushed unless it'd be a different thing if he was just but like when he loses he gets bull rushed and that you
Yeah, I
can't
don't think
lose.
he's strong enough yet.
Yes, you cannot lose like that at the tackle because that's and again, and I think that's kind of what's going on. Justin, he kind of got PTSD, and you're like maybe you're. I guess that falls in line with what you're saying, where like he's got so many bad habits built up because he has been playing, and Caleb or Drake May or whoever don't have those nightmares built into them. Um, but yeah, I think Joel. I think we need to get away with him. Get him in the draft no matter how it goes. But like I said, I know it's Caleb or Justin, but we still need help. And I guess if we know we're gonna get Caleb, we can go more all in free agency. Um, but if we're keeping Justin, you kind of gotta spend wisely because if you keep Justin, that means you're banking that Justin's gonna be better than Caleb, which is top 10 at least. And that means you're gonna have to pay him. And that means you can't give Brian Burns a 5 year fucking $28 million a year contract. You can't get like I did Hunter, I think you might be able to work that because he's older, so he might only be getting like a 3 year deal.
Yeah, I think he's 29.
Yeah, so you might be able to get him for a 2 or 3 year deal. That might work if you're but that's why I was saying a couple episodes ago, I think free agency will give us his first tipping of his hand just because if if he doesn't spend in free agency and then he does take Caleb, you're you didn't help Caleb. You didn't get any reinforcements, and we're gonna have too many holes. And it's gonna kind of be like this year was, like a patch job year again, where we didn't do enough, and like it's gonna be DJ Moore, and I mean, it won't be Mooney, but it'll be somebody slightly better than Mooney. If we don't end up with a center or a left tackle, and it's like that's not a good way to start off what Caleb's doing either. So I think we'll get some hints in free agency which way Ryan Poles is leaning. If he gives it, like I said, if he gives Brian Burns a 5 year, you know what I mean, $30 million, $27 million a year contract, I'd start packing my bags if I was Justin. Because I don't think he's going to be giving Justin. I mean, I guess that's a good problem to have, but I just don't. I don't think in his head he's thinking, all right, I'm about to pay Justin 50 million, and that's what you have to be thinking if you're keeping Justin. You know what I mean? Like him or not, that's what you have to know. That's why I think it's a difficult, like you said, it's a tough choice for him. That if you keep Justin, that means you think he's going to be good, and good quarterbacks get paid $50 million a year. So, um, said maybe Justin's one of those guys who you can get him down to 40 and put some incentives in there. Who knows if if he's a Tom Brady like guy or he can afford to make that decision. So we'll see.
Well, tomorrow, I know the episode probably won't go up until, Monday, but,
No, I probably put it
just,
up tomorrow. I've been we usually used to do Fridays, but ever since the season ended, I've been doing it Sunday because I think that's the day everybody's craving some football. So
yeah. All
so
right.
I
Well,
I will
then,
be putting this up so this will be up Sunday probably by noon.
all right. So, Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow, Kansas City, San Francisco. Patrick Mahomes was asked about whether or not the Bears should keep Justin Fields. He responded by saying that that's a very tough decision to make because there was, this reporter was talking to him about the comparisons that Caleb Williams had to, Patrick Mahomes himself. He said that it's a tough decision to make. He wouldn't want to make that decision to pass up on Caleb Williams or not. But he did say that Justin Fields plays good football. He likes Justin. Um, but he didn't really, go one way or another. He kind of complimented both guys, both Caleb Williams and Justin Fields. But
Yeah, he's a
um,
he's a statesman.
Kansas City, I think, is getting. I think San Francisco's favored by like a point and a half. Is
Right
what
now,
the
yeah,
last
I think
is the last thing that I saw. It's almost a pick 'em. It's so close to being a pick 'em. Um, who you got?
Kansas City. I just think Mahomes is him, and I think that's why there's this debate anyway because everybody wants this next guy. Um, it's like Bears fans are poor, and poor people like lottery tickets. Um, and I just do think Mahomes is amazing, and they're just and to not they're very complimentary too. It's like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Andy Reid calls a great game. They've built a good team. Their defense is really good now too, and Mahomes makes the big plays when you need them. Um, and he's turning into Brady. We didn't know if he was. We thought he's got Tyreek Hill, he's got fucking all these guys, and it's like now he's got. I mean, he's still got Kelsey, and he's a fucking dog, but Kelsey's not Tyreek Hill. And like he doesn't change the field, change the like what the coverage is like Tyreek Hill does. It's much easier to stop Kelsey than it is Tyreek Hill. Um, and he's got Rasheen Rice and a bunch of bums who drop a bunch of passes, and he's still like he's having his like worst season ever, and they're in the Super Bowl, and you know what I mean, in a pick 'em against the 49ers. I was saying they have been favored in every single game this year. Every single game. That's crazy.
That's
Um,
nuts.
like I said, this is what the Bears fans are arguing about though. I get to bring it back to Justin and Caleb. It's like, do you want to build a super team or do you want a quarterback who's going to put his cape on and drag you there? And not necessarily drag him, but like you build a decent defense, sound him with decent weapons, and he's going to hulk up and you know what I mean. Your team can play a lot better than the talent you have, or you have fucking Brock Purdy surrounded by you know what I mean, two Pro Bowlers, you know what I mean, two future Hall of Famers and a top five defense. So it'll be interesting to see these guys go at it. It's two different ways to build a team, two different ways to be dominant in the NFL. Um, and I guess, I mean, a lot, Purdy, it's hard to judge Purdy too, because like, are you just because you got a bunch of good guys in your team, you can't really discredit how good you're playing as well. Like, you still got to go out
No,
there and make
because
the
you still
throws.
got to execute.
You definitely still got to execute. It does make it easier, obviously, but
Yes.
and we saw Jimmy G do similar things as Brock Purdy. Not the same. Brock Purdy has been much better, more dynamic than Jimmy G, but they were just as dominant as a team with Jimmy G, and you know what I mean. Basically, making it to the Super Bowl, almost making it to the Super Bowl every year.
Purdy plays the position better than Jimmy Garoppolo
I think he's
does.
got
He
wheels,
doesn't
and he's
he
young.
doesn't turn the ball over.
No, yeah, and I just think, and well, he airs it out more too. Like
Yeah.
like Jimmy G started with the Patriots, dink and dunk. He's just, you know, old, and he's got old school. Brock Purdy, he's a game manager, but he's just young, and he's got, you know what I mean. He's a little more, you know, risk averse. But I mean, he's starting a good legacy for himself. He almost, I mean, well, he didn't almost. He was second place. He got one MVP vote. Mahomes or Lamar got 49 of the 50. Um,
Yeah, Lamar. Oh man, that see, I know the MVP is a regular season award, but man, it's so hard to judge these guys in the regular season when they pretty much when some of them just can't win the big one. You know what I'm saying? It like Josh Allen. It's so hard for him, you know, and that was the knock on
uh,
Dan Marino for the
oh,
longest time too. But
I
I
think these
mean,
guys have a little different than Marino, to cut you off a little bit. Um, Marino wasn't going against Tom Brady. Like we were saying the same shit about Peyton Manning because Tom Brady kept beating them. You know what I mean? It's just like, are these guys can't win the big game, or they just keep fucking going against Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady to win it? Like, I mean, that's a fair question. I mean, obviously Lamar didn't play super well in the game, um, but Mahomes didn't play crazy good either. Like, um, I don't know if it's the aura that they admit, but like it's hard to be like, oh, fucking Josh Allen can't win the big one, but it's like he's fucking going blow for blow with Mahomes, and he lost one with what 10 seconds left. He went up with, and they lost 14 seconds or something. Like,
yep.
so I mean, as much and then there's plenty of bad things about Josh Allen. I just think that it's just he was born in the wrong time, and he's fucking paired up with fucking having to go against Mahomes, and even fucking if you don't, if it's like, and you might have to play Burrow in there somewhere, and it's like he's got that fucking killer instinct too. So it's a tough time to be a quarterback in the AFC. Um, that's why I guess I'm so, and the NFC is not so much. That's why I want to have like a the NFC's got that sneaky veteran chance. If you just got a good veteran team, you might be able to sneak past and win some of these games. But in the AFC, you definitely need a quarterback, and you know, in reality, if you're going to beat Mahomes, you're probably going to have to outduel him or have a crazy pass rush.
Yeah, it's uh, how bad is the Pro Bowl? Like the Pro Bowl now, oh my God, man.
I don't, I don't get how they make it so bad, especially now because it's so accessible, and it's like I think these guys are divas, and they don't want to get. I don't. The flag I thought was a good idea. They just need to find a way to make it more competitive. Um, I don't mind the flag. I think they need to bring back the skills competition with all the quarterbacks. I don't know. For the life of me, I don't know why they stopped doing that. Um, and then they need to bring the race back. I don't know if guys don't want to tear their Achilles racing in the Pro Bowl or whatever, but like they need to bring the race back. And make it fun again. I would even do like a like a fucking retired players like flag game, like do like a flag tournament with the AFC. The AFC gets two teams, and do like a vet team, like Mike Vick and some guys who are retired, Ocho Cinco and To can have a flag team, and they play again. I don't even work for them. I'm thinking amazing ideas right now. So I don't understand, and I know like To, Mike Vick, these guys love the fucking NFL. They'll do that shit. So it's like, what are they doing? Like we've decided that the game with the pads doesn't work anymore because nobody wants to hit. We don't even hit in the games, the real games anymore. We can't be fucking going balls out in the exhibitions. So scrap the game. Do like I said, I would do like a flag tourney where the like instead of fucking and do like the NBA does, no more AFC versus NFC. You pick four captains or the whoever the four quarterbacks are. They pick who they want on their team, and fucking you got to pick two linemen or whatever, and do a flag tournament and have Mike Vick be the quarterback for the fucking veteran team with you know what I mean, whoever, even if it's fucking even for jokes, Jerry Rice or whoever come out there and play in the shit. But I don't know why they ruined it. I hope they don't ruin the combine. That's they're coming for next. The combine's sacred though. They don't let no shenanigans into that.
Yeah, we should definitely try to go at least to the combine or something this year. I
I'm going
really
to the
want to go
draft.
to, I want to do the,
The
I don't know
combine you
the
can only
draft.
go one day, right, or two to one. Like I don't know what the access is like because I don't think you can go and just sit when they're actually doing the drills and shit though.
Are you talking about the draft
No,
or are
the
you talking about the
combine. The
combine?
combine.
Yeah, I don't
I don't think you can go. I think you can like see them weigh in and shit or something like that. But I don't think you can actually like go in when they're doing the drills and shit.
I don't even know where the draft is this year. Is it in Kansas City again or did they
I
move
don't
it?
know. We'll have to look that up. But
Yeah,
all
because
right.
I'd definitely be interested in going. Um, but yeah, there wasn't like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of
Yeah.
news.
A lot of rehash. Like I said, Mahomes got asked about Justin, Torrey Holt, Urlacher again. A few, like I said, people, we kind of know where everybody stands. I'd say it's probably right now 70-30 Justin. Like with like when you ask people, but people just like Justin. I can admit that. He's a good kid. He always says the right thing. He's not whining. We also watched him get his ass kicked there. Obviously, he could play better. We all know that, but see him take a beating and take it like a man. Um, but I think most of the NFL and our
Mo-
our team Justin.
Moving off of football for a second, I don't know if you saw this or not. Anybody who watches the show knows that I'm a wrestling fan, right? Did you see that shit for the Road to WrestleMania? The whole press conference thing that they did in Las Vegas with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and The Rock coming to Roman Reigns' defense and slapping the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Oh my God, dude. So um it's been a lot of talk because of obviously the disgusting, vile allegations against Vince McMahon. Brock Lesnar is being scrubbed from WWE history because he was part of it as well, allegedly, of course.
Who?
Um, Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah.
So, The Rock is now on the board of directors
Yeah, I
for
saw
TV.
that. He
Yeah.
Cody won the Rumble, and then The Rock was supposed to be fighting, like stole his match for WrestleMania. And now they're doing like a triple threat, maybe, or fucking Rock's gonna wrestle night one.
Yeah, so what it's looking like, and this is it's for a lot of us older fans of wrestling, professional wrestling, WWE stuff like that. For the longest time, it's been the PG era, and it seems like now they're kind of moving into a little bit more edgier television. They just got to deal with Netflix, so WWE Raw, everything else like that, that's gonna go over to Netflix starting January of 2025, so they have a little, it's not going to be on cable television anymore, so they don't necessarily need to follow a lot of the restrictions of TV. It's obviously never going to be what it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but they have a little bit of room to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more edgy. But ever since Triple H took over in terms of just creative control and everything else like that, it has been a lot better. But this buzz that's being generated right now with The Rock, it's good for business. Like I said, he slapped the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Um, and it was pretty funny. It was good. It made for good television. Um, WrestleMania comes up in March. Everybody knows that or April, sorry. Everybody knows that I'm a wrestling fan, so I will be talking a lot of WrestleMania once WrestleMania is right around the corner. So when there's like 2 weeks until WrestleMania hits, I'll be talking about that quite a bit. The Royal Rumble just happens. I watched that. Royal Rumble was great. Got to watch it with little man. He enjoyed it. Um, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be this WrestleMania 40 is gonna be good. It's gonna be a good WrestleMania this year. It's in Philly, which is ECW territory, so the crowd's gonna be hot. And Philly has one of the best crowds in terms of WWE stadiums. It's usually Puerto Rico, Philly, New York, Chicago, Toronto. A lot of the big wrestling cities have amazing crowds, and Philly is definitely up there in the top five in terms of crowds. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'll probably tune in. I watched the replay of the Royal Rumble. I'll probably tune in to WrestleMania this year because The Rock will be there. Speaking of wrestling, Seth Rollins. So keep Justin Fields. Keep that in mind, everybody. But all right, like I said, no, another slow week. Just a bunch of Caleb Justin talk. Eventually, last year polls traded the pick on March 10th. I think we're gonna have to wait a lot longer than that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I would say when's the draft? April 15th, somewhere around there.
yeah, no,
I
the
want to say
20
it's around.
isn't. It's late. It's in the 20s
Is
usually.
it so? Maybe it's the 25th. I thought it
Yeah,
ended. Maybe it ended at 5. So if they trade Justin Fields, if they're gonna take Caleb Williams, they're gonna trade Justin Fields before the draft. They're not gonna do it draft night.
yeah,
I would think it's like a week before the draft that they trade Justin Fields if they are. I'm taking quarterback one.
yeah,
So expect April 10th.
yeah.
I'm gonna predict it right now. April 10th to the 14th, 15th, that 5 day window. I predict that if the Bears take Caleb Williams number one overall, Justin Fields will be traded between those days. April 10th to April 15th. Book it.
We'll see. Justin's not getting traded though. But all right, like, follow, subscribe. Please keep commenting, especially you guys been liking the shorts lately. One of the ones about me and you talking about Caleb's got like 100 comments on it. Or like they've been doing pretty good. So please, we appreciate that. Please keep it up, and we will talk to you next week. Adios, buddy.
Later.